Good morning to you all. Welcome to this morning's market review. My name is Joshua. It's nice to be here again. It's wonderful to be here again. Thank you. Welcome this morning. All right, quickly, without wasting our time, because I want to believe we've been having an interesting week, and today is not going to be any different. It's still going to be an interesting week, even though it's the last day of the week. So, yeah, let me start by acknowledging us all. Good morning to you, Bola Dayo. Good morning, Chineju Oshaji. Good morning, Emmanuel Oyebu Onwura. Good morning to you, Felix Anyo. Good morning, Kelvin Obi. Good morning to you, Kel X. Good morning, Mandu Timothy. Good morning, Nseo Bon Akman. Good morning, Rotimi Abejoye. Good morning, Thomas Lafidon. Yeah, all right. Good morning to you all. It's I'm happy that you're here. It's a wonderful time having you around again. Yeah, good morning to you, Felix and you. It's wonderful and it's interesting to have you around here again. All right, so a quick one just to do a run and check on everything being normal and good. So please, you're able to hear me from your own end. Kindly come to the chat section and drop the word loud and clear, so I'll know you can hear me clearly from your own end. Just kindly drop it for me at the chat section, loud and clear. Yeah, so I'm waiting for our response loud and clear, so I'll know that yes, you can hear me, then we can move on from there. All right, Felix, are you saying loud and clear? Okay, I need other response too. Shouldn't be him alone. Okay, Kelvin Obi, thank you very much, loud and clear. One more. Bola Dio, loud and clear. Thank you very much. It means you're able to hear me from your end. Emmanuel, yes, thank you. You said loud, but not visible. Okay, don't worry. You're going to see me. Yeah, you're going to see. Don't worry. But let's start with the voice first. I want to know if I'm able to hear you loud and clear from your location. And from the response, it shows that yes, you're able to hear me loud and clear from your location. So it means there's no issue from my own end, understand? And the same way, there's no issue from your own end. But all the same, for some of us, we might have issues hearing me from your location. So best thing to do is switch off your device and on it again. Yeah, that it's more or less like you're resetting your network, you understand, status. Or you can also switch it off on it, then change your location. That could also be another major factor when it comes to the network. So you change your location, and once you change your location, hopefully it's affects the whole thing and it moves out positively well. All right, so with that being said, we're going to be moving straight down into what has been happening in the market. So first thing first, I'm going to be sharing my screen. So we'll start with what has been happening in the market fundamentally. Let's see the reaction of the market fundamentally. Let's see if we're going to be having any news today and the likes. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen, and I want to believe you're able to see my screen from your own end. Okay, yes, I want to believe so too. All right, so looking at what we're saying here now, from everything we're saying as of today, yes, we're not having any major news like okay, yeah, we are. Look at it, Friday today as at 12:30 a.m. this morning, we had news coming out on the Tokyo Core CPI year to year, and it came out negative for JPY. Came out negative for JPY. So now, if it's coming out negative for JPY, and this is the impact of the news, is a medium impact, I want to believe there's going to be a reaction on that. Yes, since it's medium impact, there's going to be a reaction on that. Okay. Let's look at the next one, which is euros, and they're saying all the German prelim CPI month to month. All right, well, this is all the so it's showing that nobody knows the exact time, but yes, it will be released. It will take the whole day before it's been released. Then by 10 a.m. this morning, we're also expecting the German prelim GDP quarter to quarter. All right, so this is another one we're expecting by 10 a.m. Okay. Then the next one is by 2:30, which is on CAD and USD. For the CAD, that's GDP month to month, and on USD, that's core PPI. You understand? And the USD PPI. This is coming out by 2:30 p.m. today, and this could also be a major factor in the market. This could move the market massively. Okay. Yes. And these are some of the things that could also move the market. Like this already came out before now. It says Trump administration said to be preparing Wash Fed chairman nomination. And this came out 4 hours ago. Mhm. 4 hours ago. So if you look at it 4 hours back, around 4 a.m. in the morning or so, or around, yeah, around 4 a.m. or 3 something, 3:30 a.m. Around that time, this news came out. And yeah, this could also have moved the market around such times. So all this what is going to be coming out today, you understand? Apart from what happened yesterday, let's see. So sorry, so sorry. Okay, so I'm here. What happened yesterday? We had the unemployment news. Then by 10 p.m., we had Treasury currency report. Then by 10:30 p.m., President Trump also spoke. And you see, all these stuff, speeches and everything would have affected the market either positively or negatively, which we're going to be seeing by the time we get to the chart. But let's see what is happening for today. This is all we have for today. Then let's look at the currency strength meter and see what is happening. So for the currency strength meter, we're looking at the currency strength zone and see what is happening on currency strength zone. Okay, let's see what is happening there. Okay, um, with us now. Okay, um, I'm still with us, please. Yes. So for the currency strength zone, as of now, it's saying the USD is the strongest instrument as of this morning on 100, followed by the CHF, then the Great Britain pounds, then we have the Canadian dollars, followed by euros, then the JPY. Well, as of this morning, okay, so we can see that it has refreshed itself, but USD CHF are still the strongest, okay, the highest, followed by GBP, then JPY, then euros. Now, CAD, then we have NZD, and the weakest is AUD. That's for this particular currency strength meter, this particular one. Now, you see, the interesting thing is it updates itself every 10 seconds. So once it counts, there's a countdown from 10 to 0, and once that is done, it updates itself, and that's why you're seeing that some instruments are changing by itself automatically. But as we see this morning, USD and CHF are the strongest. So okay, let's look at the other one, which is manual. Let's see what it is saying. Okay, so for these two, the information is showing on us here is USD is the strongest as of now, followed by Great Britain pound, followed by Canadian dollars, then euros and Great Britain pound on the same strength. Then we have NZD, followed by Switzerland Swiss, then AUD. As of now, we are seeing it is showing us that JPY is really losing strength, and that's why you're seeing the red arrow on JPY that is all right, so sorry about the network glitching there. I had a network glitch and that's why the it went out. But I want to believe everybody is able to hear me from their end now. Okay. I want to believe if you're unable to hear me, just let me know. But I want to believe that everybody should be able to hear me from their end. And you should be able to see my screen now. Yes. So based on what we're seeing on this particular currency strength meter, the weakest is JPY and it's really running down. And yeah, not to forget that a news came out on JPY this morning and it said JPY All right, we're back. Sorry for that. So we're going to be looking at the market technically now to know what is happening in the market technically to determine what is happening to see how to envisage which direction the market most likely might go today. Let's see what is happening. So I'm sharing my screen and I want to believe everybody is able to see my screen from their own end. All right. Okay. Sorry, yeah, Kelvin Obi, you say your voice is breaking. Okay, sorry, but I want to believe you're able to hear me now. It's just a distortion from the network. I want to believe everybody's able to hear me loud and clear. All right. Uh, okay, so let's move on with that. First thing first, we are on Euro USD, and based on what we're saying, let's go to the daily time frame. We'll discover that for days now, this particular market, this instrument has actually gone up. That is why you're seeing for each of these candles you're saying it represents one day, and we discover that for days it's been going up, and that's what we are saying. From this point now, it actually got up to this point. But if we're looking at it based on what we're saying, technically, okay, we have some zones here. First thing first, this is one zone that we are able to see here. There's a particular zone here. That's that. On another ground, there's another zone here, okay, which we can actually see from this point price went up. But let's look at it on 1 hour time frame and see what is happening. Okay, around this point, price range. But let's see. This is it here. This is 1 point. Okay, and we just this is another point. Even though price gapped around this point and came down, but yeah, all this. So price has gone down to this point, and we can see that as of this morning on Euro USD. Let me zoom in for us to see. You can see that around this point now, all we are seeing is price is moving sideways. From this point, as of this morning, price has been having issues. Okay, let me draw it out for us to see. This is it. Interestingly, price has been having issues around this point. So we need to be very, very careful about price. Let's hold on and see what price is actually going to do. Is it going to break above or is going to reverse back down? You understand? Once it's able to pick a direction from here, then we should be able to follow the direction of that market. So let's hold on and see what price wants to do. Is it going up or coming down? Since the market price is ranging. And funny enough, you can see where price is. Price is on the support zone. Where price is actually a support zone, we have to be very, very careful about placing a trade instantly like that. When price is giving us an indecision or is giving us an indecisive movement. And based on why am I saying that? It's moving sideways. So it means price is ranging. So we need to give price some slacks, cut it some slacks, let it make its decision. Is it going up or is coming down? Now, once it picks a direction, then we should be able to follow the direction. And once that, let it break out of this sideways movement. Is it to the upside or downside? Then we are able to follow that, okay, price has made its decision and the decision is to either go up or come down. Then we'll follow whichever direction it gives us. So that's that on Euro USD. Okay. All right. So let's move down to the next instrument now. Let's move to the next instrument, which is USD card. All right. So on USD card, let's look at it on the daily time frame. So I'm zooming out now. So we discover that on this particular instrument on USD card, price actually went up and came back down. And that's why we are seeing what price has done. You understand? It's been interesting here. Got up to this point, came down, pushed back up. Now is back again downwards. It even went a little bit lower than this low before. Now it's here. So what are we expecting from price? Based on what we're seeing from past, we can see that price is already close to this zone here. Even before getting there, you can see that price has even gotten a reaction. Price trying to push back. So is price still going to come down to this point? This is on daily time frame, but let's look at it on 1 hour and see what is price saying exactly. Okay, so based on what we're seeing, price has been giving us this downwards movement from this point. We can see it lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and it has gotten to this point. And as of this morning, still we can see that it's almost like it's together with the same movement that Euro USD is giving us to. That's what this particular instrument is giving us to, is moving sideways. So we need to also hold on for price to break it to a direction. But if we are going to follow it based on the trend we are seeing a downward trend. If that is the trend we have to follow, you understand? But for now, it's ranging. And even if we are to follow it, giving us that downward trend, we need to hold on for price to break below this particular zone that has been marked out for us. If it breaks below this zone now, because this is one zone where price got rejected to move back up. And what we are saying here now is this price is already been moving sideways around this point. So if it's able to break these points, this is another strong zone that we're able to mark out on the higher time frame. So once price is able to break below this point and it gets to this point, there's a possibility that price might have issues here. But if it's able to break below this particular zone too, then I think we'll have a strong movement in that direction. But first thing first, it has to break. The decision it makes here determines what is going to happen. Here, where price is ranging, the decision it makes here, price now decides to pick a direction down, then it could be it could be bearish. But if it decides to reverse back and break out of this point and moves back up, it could be bullish. So let's just watch and see these points that zones that has been marked out for us. One of the two will happen. So let's watch out and see what is going to happen. Okay. All right. That's that on USD card. Let's look out for USD CHF and see what is happening on that particular instrument. Let's see USD CHF. Okay. So USD CHF it is. All right. Okay. So based on what we're seeing, from time we've already seen that on USD CHF, it's more of a bearish move than a bullish move. That particular instrument, if you look at it based on what we are seeing on long time frame, let's zoom out, you discover that USD CHF has been more of a bearish instrument than bullish. Yeah, look at it. Went up, came down, and like that it's been coming down till this very point. Even on the daily time frame, we'll still see the same thing. Price has been more of a bearish move on this instrument. So let's look at it on the daily time, the 1 hour time frame, and see what price is currently doing. Okay, so based on what price is doing on 1 hour time frame, we can see that price to go to this low and it got rejected back up, and we can see that price is also coming back now. Now zones has been created. This is one. I'm going to mark out these zones for us. Another one that has been created is this point. Okay, so these are two zones. But yes, not to forget, price is moving sideways. Price is moving sideways. So yes, because price is moving sideways too, is also another issue. This is it. This is that box here where price is moving sideways. And we need to be very, very cautious of it. We need to be very, very cautious of where price is now. You understand? Once we are cautious of where price is, then we can determine what will happen based on the direction it peaks. So let's hold on and see what price is going to do around that point. Whichever direction price breaks out through, that direction should be the major direction price wants to go. So let's just watch out and see. Is it going up or it's coming down? These are major points that we need to know. And we've said it times without a number. Now, for a ranging market, that's a correction zone. And whenever I see a market that is ranging, all you need to do is to what? Be patient. Hold on to see what price wants to do. Let it pick its direction. Once it picks its direction, then we are able to strike. But until that happens, you wait. And yes, also, we also remind, we've said it times without number that in technical, waiting is a strategy. Waiting is what matters the most. You wait and you strike when the iron is hot. You understand? Wait. Once you see the opportunity, it gives you a clear signal, then you follow. Don't rush into it. You understand? Don't rush, because you rush into the market, the same way you rush into the market is the same way you're going to rush out. So to avoid some stories that touches the heart, we need to what? Wait. The patient dog is the fattest bone, technically. So yes, let's see what is going to happen. Let's look at GBP USD. Let's see what that market is doing. Okay, GBP USD, looking at it from the daily time frame now, we discover that price has also gone up on daily time frame on this GB particular instrument. You can see it, but as of now, we can see that on candle zero is being bearish. But let's look at it on 1 hour time frame. Nice. So price has gone up, and based on what we're saying, is more or less like price is trying to come down. In fact, if we're seeing it that way, it's just confirming what a little bit is confirming what the currency strength meter is showing us, that as of this morning, USD is strong. You understand? It's the strongest. And that's why we're seeing all these bearish candle more. You understand? So we're going to look at where it is now. Where it is now currently, there's a zone here. There's a zone where price is currently here. So that is what matters. Even though it's more or less like a ranged a little bit, but it's giving us that ranging vibe around this point. But let's look at it like this. If price is able to break out of this particular point here below, then we could have a bearish move. We could, if price is able to break below this point. But if it continues moving like this and sideways and decides to reverse back and breaks out of this whole point, around this point here, then we could have a reversal and a bullish move. So let's just watch out for this point that has been marked out for us. I think from that point, we should be able to make a decision. Okay, so that's that on GBP USD. All right, let's look at USD JPY. Okay, so before I look at that, Ayola Femi, you're saying we should look at AUDJPY. All right, let's see what is on AUDJPY. Then we move to USDJPY. Okay, AUDJPY. I'm with us. I'm coming. Let's see what is happening on that particular instrument. AUDJPY. All right, this is AUDJPY. This is AUDJPY. Looking at it from the daily time frame, that's serious. So based on what we're seeing on daily time frame now, I'm zooming out, you can see that, woo. So if you look at the trend we are seeing here, it shows that this particular market is currently it is going up based on what we're seeing. Currently, it's going up. In fact, from this point, it's been more of a bullish move to the upside. Okay, so when it got up to this high, came back down to this point. Now it's back to that same place. It's back to that same place. So what is happening? Is it going to break above or reverse back down? You can see. So price is surely reacting around this resistance zone. This resistance zone is a strong point. You understand? So what is it going to do? Is it going to break above it or going to get rejected? Let's see. Okay, so let's go to 1 hour time frame and see what we can pick out from that point. Okay, so this is our 1 hour time frame, and based on what we're saying, uh okay, if we are to look at in terms of structure, it's almost giving us a letter U and down. Although this particular news, I want to believe, was as a result of news that came out, but not this morning, not for this morning, because the news we had this morning was around 12:30. So this particular one moved as a result of an information. There was a reaction yesterday. Okay, that's that. So are we still having price moving in that line? And yes, the news that came out also talked about JPY, call CPI. Yeah, that came out negative. That's why we are having this particular move down to this point. Okay, so the real deal is this. Come in, let me point it out, zoom it in. So based on what we are seeing now, I'm drawing this. So this is more or less, if I'm to pull this, let me put it this way, based on what we are seeing. So yes, 1 point, 2 points, and this happened here. So if we are to pull it that way, price, I'll say around this point, price could have an issue. As far as price is unable to break above this part, yes, we could have price moving to the downside based on the trend we are seeing there. And this is it. This is this particular zone here. So we could have price having issues around this point, one of the two. If it breaks below this point, then we could have price reversing back. More also based on the negative news that came out on JPY, that could actually go a long way in affecting price to continue to push down on AUD JPY. Yes. So this is what we are saying now. It might. Nobody knows where it's going to go, but one of the two will surely happen. Either it breaks out of this point and goes up, or it comes back down. So that's that on AUD JPY. Okay, let's look at USD JPY. So this is USD JPY. All right. So I remember last week we were discussing about this instrument and I was showing them one of the things that could happen. So this point, I said either it breaks below this point because that point was a zone, and I said I gave them this point, and lo and behold, everything he did was just between this point until he came back and broke below this point. This was last week also. Yeah, I remember. And bam, came down, got to this point, did a pullback, reversed back again, went down. So we can see it. And yes, based on the news that came out, all that also affected the market, you understand? So we can see that JPY has lost strength, and that's why you can see that it's pushing up as of this morning. But around this point, there's a zone there, and price is really struggling around that point. That's one of the reasons why you're seeing that price is like moving sideways here. Yes, if we're able to see, that's one of the reasons why price is moving sideways around this point. So let's just watch out and see, is price going to break above it or not? Let's pull out these points. If price is able to break out of this point back to the upside, we could have price pushing to the upside. But if it respects this zone and the way it's moving sideways and decides to pick the downward side, then it can continue bearish. You understand? But let's see what price is going to do. Nobody really knows whether it's going to go up or it's going to come down. So, but one of the two, we have to look at it and see what is happening. All right. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move to the next instrument, which is AUD USD. From there, we'll move to commodities. AUD USD. So on AUD USD too, we can also see. Now you see when we talk about prices moving sideways, we need to hold on. You can see from this point, price moved sideways. Did as if it was going to come down, but look at this was a sign that we had to hold on, and immediately he did this, he broke out around this point. And from that point, for those that would have entered buy, look at, they would have made massive profit. Even around this point too, he did the same thing, moving sideways. After that, he broke out too, before he got up to this point. Now price has come back to this same point. Can you see? There's a zone around here. So we need to hold on for price to see what price is going to do. Is it going to break below this point and come back down, or it's just going to come back to this point and bounce off this point to go back to the upside? One of the two is going to happen. So let's just watch out and see what price is going to do. That's why we're here. Understand now, we can see that. So we need to hold on and see what price is going to do around this point. Okay, so that's that for AUD USD. Now we're going to be moving to the commodity market and see what price is going to do at the commodity market. Is it going to go up or is it going to come down? One of the two will happen. Okay, sorry for that. We had a network glitch, and because of that, the whole thing went up. I had to set it back up again. So, yes, oil is the next instrument we're looking at. Let's see, what is oil saying? Is it going up or it's coming down? Let's see what price of oil is saying. All right, let's look at it from the daily time frame, then we'll move to the hour time frame. So based on what we're seeing on daily time frame, we can see that price actually has gone up for a while. Now, till yesterday it was bullish. Now, but as of this morning, we can see that the candle is showing us is a bearish candle. And based on what we're seeing, let me zoom out so we can see price actually got to a zone here, and to some extent was able to push her a little bit. Can you see? A little bit from this point to this point. Now, that's why price respected that point and is coming back to the downside. Is that it? But let's see. Is that what it's going to do? Let's look at it based on 1 hour. Can we see price actually got up to this high, created a zone, and price is coming back? We can see that around this point, there's a zone there. And that's why when price came here, it's bouncing up based on this. But nobody knows, is it going to continue? There's a possibility that this might just be a minor pullback from this zone where price is. So let's look out for this point strongly. Let's look out for this point strongly because price could reverse back down below that point. And okay, so zooming in again, you can also see that this particular candle, although it's on 1 hour, based on what we are saying, is more or less like it's inside. Candle zero is still inside candle one. You understand? Although it's yet to form fully, so we can't say that's how it's going to be. Nobody knows. But if it forms inside this man, there could be a reversal. It could be giving us a reversal statement saying that price wants to what? Go up. So let's watch and see what price wants to do there. You understand? So that's why we have to wait and see. Once this candle closes, we see where it closes, then we can now determine that, oh, we're going to be going up or coming down. You understand? So we need to look at it. So yeah, that's that for that on this particular instrument oil. So let's just watch it intently. But if it breaks below this point that has been marked out, there could be every possibility that price is going to move bearish. Let's just watch out and see what price is going to do first. Okay. Now the next instrument is silver. Let's look at silver. Okay, so based on what we're seeing now on this particular instrument, silver, we can see that price is moving down on silver. It's been bearish on this particular instrument. Price is being bearish on this instrument. Okay, so yeah, based on some of the news that we actually saw, I think these were part of the things that affected the market, that moved the market. You understand? Some of those news that happened yesterday moved the market. We can see it got to a record high, on silver. And now again, well, normally whenever price gets to a new high, one of the things we should expect is there should be a bearish move. You understand? It got to a record high of 1 to 1.574. Okay. So are we still expecting that kind of move again? Nobody knows, but we can see that price is pushing back down to this point. So there could be every possibility that price could reverse back to the upside here, you understand? Because currently where it is, there's a zone here. So let's just look out for this point, and it gapped up on this point. So you could see that when it gapped up, it came back and filled it. So this point is even our zone. Around this point now, we could have price reversing back to the upside. So we need to be very, very cautious on this particular instrument. We need to be cautious on this particular instrument if we out to trade. And yes, please kindly note this. You don't have a good sum in your account or something. You might not be able to trade this. So for you to trade this particular instrument, please kindly fund your account well. Kindly fund your account to be able to place your trade on this instrument, because this instrument is a volatile instrument, and you need good funds to be able to trade this instrument. You need good funds to be able to trade this instrument. Okay, so yeah. So for the likely move on silver, let's just watch and see, because price is actually looking at this zone. You can see that price is already struggling around this point. And based on all the tension that has been happening around, in this particular market, I feel that on its own has also affected the move in this particular market. That's one of the reasons why for some people might just make their own decision on maybe taking a chill pill on this particular instrument. But yes, once it moves in your direction, can go well. So this is it here. It's my own decision here. If this particular market is able to break below this part, we could have a strong bearish move. But if you respect this part, we could have price reversing back to the upside here. So one of the two will happen. So let's just wait and see. Is it going to continue in that line, or is it going to reverse back to the upside? But based on what we're saying as of this morning, you can see that yes, price has actually dropped to this point. So it could just be a test of that particular zone. But let's wait and see what price is going to do. This is the zone that has been marked out for us. Let's wait and see. Is price going to move to that point or not? I'm going to see that. All right. So that's that on silver. Yeah. These are metals, and they are also safe havens. So one of the two is going to happen. Either it goes down or it goes up. One of the two will happen. But let's take our time to look at it and see. Let's not be too quick to place some trades. Let's just watch what it's going to do on the zones, because see, this market, one of the things we've discovered is, well, some certain instruments like metals that are safe havens, one of their reaction is they react more to some fundamental economic situations, stuff that happen in the economy. Strong economic situations, when they speak, you understand, you see it moving. Another instrument that or another stuff that affects them is informations on dollar, you understand, affects them very well. So we need to look out whenever a dollar is strong or weak, this also affects this market, either to the upside or downside. So we need to make our decisions very, very careful. We need to be objective with it when we make our decisions. All right, so that's that on silver. Let's move to wheat. Let's see what is happening on wheat. Wheat. Okay, so look at it on wheat too. Look at the decision. The last time we looked at it, this point was marked, broke above it, went up, did a little bit of more or less like a ranging point here, gapped back down. You understand? Because it gapped up here, came back down around that point to this same point until you expected the point back up. So this is the new zone here at the top here. This is the new point here at the top. Okay, so, and this is another point here. So let's see. So this is on my 15 minutes time frame based on what we're saying, because around that point it was more or less like it was looking tight on the decision. So that's why I'm bringing it down to my 15 minutes time frame to see what is happening. So based on what it is, we can see that price is around these 2 points. So let's look at it based on these 2 points that we're seeing here. This is point 1 and point 2. Okay, so one of the decisions will be made here. I'm going to be marking out these points for us. This is point 1. Yeah, either it breaks out of this point or this particular section. So these are the 2 points we should be looking at on our wheat market. Either it comes down, breaks below this point and comes down, or respects this point, reverses back up, breaks above this point and continue up. Then we have these 2 points at the top to look out for. Okay, let's look at it on 1 hour time frame. We have these 2 points to look at. So yeah, one of the two is going to happen. Either it breaks up or below. So let's just look out for these 4 points that's been marked out for us on wheat. One of it is going to happen. Understand? One of it is going to happen. And let's be very, very objective in our decisions. Hopefully that is going to help us to make more profit in the market. Okay, so that's that on wheat. So the next instrument we'll look at is US30. Let's look at what is happening on US30. This is US30 terms of, okay, so US stocks. We can see that, yeah, this market, even as of this morning, is bearish. A very strong bearish move is what we're seeing on this particular instrument as of this morning on candle. Okay, so on candle 1, it was bearish. Candle 0, 2, are we expecting it like that? Let's see our decisions. Based on the daily time frame that we've zoomed out, we'll discover that for a long time, price has actually gone up to this point. Now, this is the new high that we are seeing. It gave us a new high around this point. Yes, and since then, price had issues coming back down, and we can see that it's around this particular zone here. Let's just say yes, there's a zone here. There could be every possibility that around this point, price could reverse back to the upside. So let's watch out and see for this point. If it's able to break below this point, there could be a continuation in that move to come back down. But if it gets to this point and it respects this zone, there could be a reversal back to the upside based on what we're seeing on the trend. It could be a continuation from this point and it will break above that point. You understand? But yes, if it breaks below this point, we could have price coming down, down, down. You understand? But yeah, this is the sure point. This is our short point here. So we need to look out for this particular section. Is it going to break below it or is it going to reverse back from this point? So let's watch out for this particular zone. You understand? Once we're able to see what happens there, from that point, we can make our decision. Okay? All right, let's move to the next instrument, which is US 500. Let's see. US 500. All right, so on US 500 is almost it's giving us almost the same decision too. Giving us almost the same decision, just like we are seeing. Zooming out for us to see, we can see that price has actually been moving up, been giving us that up trend, pushing up, going up straight. And this is the highest he ever got on US 500. Yes, US 500. This is the highest it ever got. Okay. And from that point, it dropped. Let's look at it on the daily time frame now. You can see, got to this high, respected that point, came back down. There's a zone here where price has got into. And, oh, sorry. Okay, so this is the point here. There's this zone here. So if price is able to come down to this point and break below this point, we could have price reversing back to the upside. But if price respects this point successfully, if price should respect this point, we could have a continuation in that move. Yeah. If it breaks below this point, we'll have a continuation in that move. But if it respects this point, there could be a reversal back to the upside to go and create a new high above. You understand? So let's be cautious and see what price wants to do around this point. One of the two is going to happen. Then we have US 2000. Let's see US 2000. Okay. US 2002 is giving us the same vibe. Price has gone to a high, new high. Now price is pulling back down. Yes, whenever price gets to a new high, there's every possibility that price is going to push back down. And that's what we're seeing. Even this is on our 1 hour time frame. So this is the first zone that we need to mark out for ourselves and see. If price is able to break below this part successfully, then we could have price pushing back down. You understand? But if price should respect this point, there could be possibility of what a new high being created. So one of the two is going to happen. These are the zones we need to look at. Just like we've said, in this market, one of the things we need to see is support and resistance. In fact, in life generally, everything that has to do with life itself generally is what support and resistance, support and resistance. So the main deal is when you want to trade technically, be able to find your support and resistance zones. And when we talk about these zones, most of the time we ask the questions, how do we see these points? These are rejection points. That is, these are points where price got to and could no longer move further. So this is it. For instance, look at this. Price has been going up, and it got to this particular high now. This is on US 2000 and this time frame. It got to this particular high and could no longer go. Rather than pushing up, it dropped. So therefore, this point you're seeing now is a zone, and that's known as what? Our resistance zone. So that's just how we look at this market. We need to look at it from all that points. So once we see it like that, we also be able to respect what price is saying. And based on what we're saying here now, this is on my 1 hour time frame. So if you're looking at it on 1 hour time frame, you can see it when price broke above this point, went up. Now price is coming back down. So the point has been marked for us, although there's a minor zone around this point, but price could still push down to this particular section where we're seeing here. So if price is able to break below this box that has been marked out for us successfully, then we could have a bearish move. But if it respects this point, or even stop at this point where it's starting more or less like the minor zone for here, it stops here and reverses back up, we could have price going up, or being bullish. You understand? So let's just look at what is going to happen to price, and let's be careful about our decisions. You understand? Okay, so let's move on and see what happens in the next instrument. Let's look at DE40. So DE40 it is. We're on DE40 now. DE40. So looking at it from the higher time frame, we can see that price got to this high, and after that came back down to this section where there's a support, and price has been having issues there. It's been a little bit stiff around this point. So we need to look at what is happening here. Is price going to break below, or is going to reverse back up? Can you see? So there's a zone around this point, and we can see that price is trying to push back. But let's see, because the first way I checked it was on my higher time frame. But let's cut it some slack and see what price wants to do. So we are bringing it down lesser. You understand? So this is the point here. If it's able to come below this point and break below this point successfully, we could have price pushing down. We could have price pushing down. You understand? So let's watch out and see what price is going to do. Is it going to break below this point, or is it going to reverse back to the upside from this point? You understand? Okay. Okay. So there's a question of why is the sudden bearish move on some of the US stocks. Now, it's a very, very straight information. There's nothing shocking about it. Part of it is that's why you need to for me, our advice, we check what happens on news. We need to listen to news. You see, when we're able to look at some of this news, there we'll be able to discover, we'll get the information of what has happened. There are some certain decisions that is being made, you understand? Sometimes, as of yesterday, we had President Trump speaking. You understand? He didn't just speak, there were tweets and the likes and every other thing. All these things are part of the things that affected the market when statements are being made. You understand? And not just that, there've been tension between the US economy, the Chinese economy, the European economy, all of that, Greenland and the like. So all these tensions are part of the things that has been affecting. And yes, some major informations also came out that about the US stocks losing strength. All these things are part of the things we need to look at. So please, you can go to Bloomberg, you see some of them. You can go to investing.com, look at all the previous informations, even on forexfactory.com. Try and see, you will see it there. All these things are part of the things that is affecting. And that's why you're seeing that major push to the downside. You understand? So it's not just happening like that. It's a major news. It's just the market is reacting to information that was released. You understand? It's not like maybe the market just started moving like that. No, major information. So yes, we might not be able to get everything. I might not be able to tell you everything word for word here. You understand? But once you look at some of these things, you will see it there. Go to forexfactory.com as yesterday, even on Bloomberg, you see all these stuff. This morning we could also see that yes, okay, coming. Let's see. Is it coming? So this was early hours of today, and this on its own too will move the market. But let's look at what talking about. Can you see? These are some of it. As at yesterday, 2:30 p.m., this came out, fine. Then by 10 p.m., we had Treasury currency report. We had President Trump speaking. This also could also move the market. Some of the informations we need to look at some of these things are part of the things that also moved the market. Look at Trump administration said to be preparing watch Fed. You see, Trump throws down new tariff trade towards Canada and Mexico. Yes, all these things are part of the things that has been affecting the market. Trump says he will announce a replacement for Powell. You see, all these things will move the market. Producer price index, all of them will affect the market. Okay, depending on some of them might even affect some certain instruments and not affect some. So all these things are part of the things that we've been saying for a while that has been affecting the market. We need to just check it, and once we check it, we'll see it. You understand? Okay, let's go back to the chart. Let's see because all right, so we look at some other currency pairs. Let's see GBP JPY. So we'll see it. Okay, so this is GBP JPY, and like we all know, as of this morning, news came out on JPY. It was negative for it, and I want to believe that's what happened, and it affected this market back to push to the upside, just like we are seeing now, showing that GBP gained more strength against JPY, although it's at a zone here, so we need to be very, very careful how we trade it. If price is able to break above outside this particular point, we could have price pushing up. You understand? But if that doesn't happen, because we can see that it's already giving us one sideways movement here, so we need to be very, very careful to in trading this particular instrument. Okay, we need to be very, very careful. Let's just watch out and see what price wants to do there first before we make our decision. If it doesn't give us a definite direction, we hold on. But once it gives us a definite direction, then we can take that move. Can take that move on that. Okay. So some of these decisions are part of the things that affected the market, either to go to the upside or downside. Let's just look at some of these stuffs like that. We have a lot of instruments that would not even look. In fact, let's see. I think it's time for me to look at this. Let's look at UK 100 and see what is happening on UK 100 too. These are some of those instruments that we need to look at. This is UK 100. We can see that this market too is being affected, and we can see that it's pushing down. Look at how high it went to reverse back. Now it's coming down. So This is on UK 100. This is another zone here that we need to look out for. Although here too, there's a minus point here. But if it's able to break below this point, we need to look at this major zone here. Is it going to break below this part or not? And if it's able to break below this part, we could have price pushing down. But let's even look at the trend based on the trend we're seeing. On a long-time trend, look at it. Price has been pushing up on UK 100. Can you see? But as of now, on the daily time frame, it's more or less like it's moving sideways. So we need to hold on for price to even give us a definite direction. This is on the daily time frame. This is on the daily time frame based on what we're seeing. We need to hold on for price to break out of this point completely. Then we can make our decision if we want to make it, push it that way. Can we see? So this is just it. Very simple. Some of these things, we just need to look at some certain instruments and we'll see all these instruments are affected by some certain economic information. So from what we're seeing, can we see there's this strong push down to this side now? But let's hold on and say this is around an hour time frame. So this is the point that has been marked out. If it breaks below this point one, and goes below this point completely, then we could have price being bearish. But if it respects this zone, we could have price pushing back to the upside. Yes. Okay, so you're asking, okay, for the box that I draw, what does it signify? This box that I'm drawing here, that you're saying here, is just, I'm marking out the zones for you to see that this point is a zone. Okay, I'm coming, let me clear the whole thing so we'll see it again. Okay, so first point is this. You see, this is a zone. Below this point is a zone like this. So I'm just letting you see how the zone is. I'm covering some certain areas for us to know that this is the area that this zone is covering. And once this market comes down to this point and gets into this box is a strong point for it. But for you to know it has gone below, it has broken completely out of that zone, let it close below this point. Once it closes outside of this zone below here, it means it's no longer here now. It has defeated the point here. It has defeated that zone here. And that's what we're talking about. You understand? Once it breaks below this point completely and closes below here, it has defeated that point. The zone that used to be here, let's say, yes, the zone here is support. Once it closes below that point, this zone is no longer support now. It will now change to what? Resistance. That's what we're talking about. So for those box that you're seeing that is being drawn, it's just marking out the strong zones, the area of concentration on the charts. Yes, that's what it is. I'm marking out the areas of concentration on the chart. So these are instruments that we can also look at and trade. You understand? Okay, so I'm going to be looking at one more currency pair, then I call it a day. Let's look at Euro card. Euro card. Euro card. I'm on Euro card. Yes. So based on what we're seeing on Euro card now, so we can see price has actually dropped on Euro card based on what we're saying. Let's see it from the daily time frame. You can see that price has been pushing up on Euro card, but since then, this has been the major point on Euro card. Point one, point two. Let me zoom in so we can see it. Okay. So this is it. This is it. All right, so it's been more of a sideways move around this point, but let's look at it on the lower time frame. What is this saying? Based on what we're saying here, price came down to this point. This is a low here, and you can see that price is being rejected around this point, back to this point here. So one of the two will happen. Either it breaks up and pushes up higher than this, or it respects that point. So this is our zone here. This is our zone here. So one of the two will happen. Either it does a retest and come back, closes and comes back to this point. There's a minor zone here. That's why you can see that price is struggling. If it comes back and tests this point and is unable to break below this point successfully, we could have a reversal back to the high side. But if it comes back and breaks below this point successfully, then there could be a continuation in that move. Okay, so that's that on Eurocard. All right, so thank you very much for joining us on this morning's market review. So for those that do not have funds in their account, I'll kindly advise, please put some funds in your account. There's some major news coming out too. We can also use that opportunity to trade the market. And for those that are unable to trade on their own, they can use the opportunity of the copy trade to make some sense. And when we make some profit for themselves, and when we talk about the copy trade, we're saying leverage on some professional traders trade. You understand? Just copy them, follow them. Once you follow them, they are the provider. Whatever they do on their own account and how they make profit will also determine what happens on your own account. So you also make some profit on your own. So you want to have more information on that, communicate with your account manager. They will tell you the needful. But for you to be able to do the copy trading, at least you must have 500,000 and above in your account. So please, let's do well. If you're unable to, you still don't know how to analyze this market, kindly fund your account, leverage on the copy while you're learning how to place the trade on your own. You understand? Thank you very much and have a lovely weekend. Bye for now.